Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you again. Doing another video, and it can continue along for the weekend videos to do something more related to some philosophy-based stuff. Something that hopefully you can apply to your life and just kind of think about and even continue on learning, because that's what this whole process is about. And it's something that I study and I've continued studying for, at least 20 years along the way. But I've been continuing to do all my research. And the more I research, the more I find things, the more I can apply some of these lessons to how I kind of live my life and how the outside things tend to affect some people more, and how stress and work and all of these things. It's all related together. So anyway, I want to talk to you today about kind of connecting some dots together, because the farther we go forward is we tend and need to look back every once in a while. Once we look back, you'll be able to connect a lot of the dots together. Steve Jobs said this in one of his famous speeches: the farther you go forward throughout your future, you look back and you'll be able to see where you came from. And that's an important part, as we look back, and whoever has been holding since November, December, January, February, March, look back, and I tend to do this and look back and see where I came from. What have I learned? What have I done wrong? What have I done right? And kind of adjusted my path to see where I need to be, right? Because it's important about all these events and all these life-changing situations that'll continue just for me and for you, and but also for many others. And I want to kind of start about what the Stoic philosophy is with Cato. The Stoics taught Cato that there were no shades of gray, all right? And we see a lot of this on the hedge funds. There's just like legal, illegal, and then there's just big shades of gray here. What Stoics taught them, because there's no more or less good, no more or less bad. It doesn't matter if you're a foot underwater or a fathom, you're still drowning. And we see that in every time we see this with the hedge funds and the banks shorting funds and doing all of these things coming out. They're still drowning. It doesn't matter. All the virtues are one and the same virtue. All the vices are the same. All right. And today we're talking about courage and moderation. Now, Aristotle suggests that the middle ground is usually closer to one extreme than the other. All right. And for this example, I'm going to use the case of courage, because on the case of courage, you have the extreme one side. We have recklessness. The other side is cowardice, and here courage is in the middle. Now, I've seen and noticed this moderation in things that people are doing, because nobody's being too reckless, and nobody's being too cowardice with all of this. No matter what we're posting, we're going right down the middle line of all of this. And again, courage can be meaningless unless it's aimed at the right goal, and that is chasing the truth. And again, but that's what really matters with all of this. And every time I go and I research and I read and I listen and I see people talking and discussions, I see the pursuit of knowledge, teaching, the search for mentors online, and just wisdom, because we're finding out what is right. Now, if you know about Julius Caesar, we know about him because he was courageous, but he was courageous for his own goals. While Cato, he was a Stoic philosopher and a very interesting person to read about him. He was in for the preservation of the Roman Republic: fairness, justice, honor, and duty. The pursuit of justice in the age of information we have today, we can get it because information is everywhere and where access is free, everything, right? Now, we can be courageous. Hedge fund leaders are courageous for their own reasons, but maybe, as we see them, they are courageous for their own selfish, wrong reasons, just like Julius Caesar was. Now, courage and wisdom and all virtues are meaningless. Again, think about this, unless they're aimed at the right goal. And we all know what our goal is. We can have the similar goal, similar virtue for the future of justice and fairness, and you can have your own idea of what you want for the future, but I think in general, many people have a similar idea of building a future, not just for me and you, but for people around you, for the left and for the right. And that's the right goal. It's a search for wisdom, and within this lies the challenge to pursue the truth, which even today, it just seems dauntless. And again, among all the unlimited information and availability of resources, is a daunting task, but the search for wisdom is there, and that's what we're getting at. Now, myself and the others we seek out education, we seek out due diligence and mentors. I mean, we're listening to people, contemplating, discussing, all of these things, and it's important. All right. Now, the four virtues of the Stoics are courage, justice, wisdom, and moderation. Now, we strive for balance between all of these, but moderation is the way that I've seen a lot of things happen between dialogue, videos, and just an overall essence of what's going on. Because we try for moderation because that's what we strive to be as the best we can. Now, again, we'll see some people online striving to keep their 15 minutes of fame and they're doing everything they can. But again, that's not happening for them, because for all of theirs holding GameStop and AMC, and they're learning in this goal. It's the pursuit of virtues and moderation, a learning to become the best humans that we can be. And that's what I hear, what I see, and again, what I read online, and that is just intense. And that's what's pushing this movement farther, pushing people to hold the stock for the future, building the same version, but also building a better future for all of us. We can ask ourselves again, how has one or more of these virtues contributed to the situation? Think about that. I mean, put all of this a little in perspective. I'm here now to help myself pursue and find answers to my own situations and ask more questions along the way from other research and other things that I've heard. So it's this nice cycle of reaching out, a never-ending cycle of search for truth and knowledge, and again, wisdom. Now, you and me, we read about it, and if you look at people, what they say and what they do, you'll see it. And you'll be able to connect your own dots and see what more questions and answers you can come to with how your situation has changed, even over the past 6 months. But also, how is it also balanced to your new normal? That's the important thing. How has it brought balance to your life? So anyway, some common thoughts to think about. More Stoic philosophy. Maybe it can help you. Hopefully it does. And hopefully, a lot to learn. But I recommend, I'll put some recommendations down below, some things you can learn to listen to, because it's the weekend and it's time to relax and take a step back. Anyway, have a safe weekend. Stay strong.